Alright guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog. I've got an exciting new product for you guys today from 589 Fabrication. So today we're going to be installing 589 Fab's integrated rock slider steps. These are pretty trick because most of the rock slider steps that I've seen look like something your papaw would use, and it hangs down, you know, really low, and then you end up just dragging them off or something crazy. So these are a little different. So if you've got 2017 to 2022 Chevy Colorado, these steps will bolt onto the factory rock sliders, and they're pretty good looking steps. So just kind of laid out everything here from 589. They do real good quality work. The welds are amazing. The powder coat looks great. I did pre-order these, so these are still hot off the press. They are brand new. You're not going to see too many trucks running these yet, and I don't think anybody's done a video, so we're going to break this one down, give you an install, and see how easy it is to get these things together. I think they're going to go pretty well. I've actually got a set of the shock skids from 589 Fab. You guys see there. Definitely want those if you're doing any kind of wheeling at all. There's a lot more videos on this truck, so if you're curious about the bed rack overland setup, wheels, tires, tune, exhaust, go check out all my other videos on the ZR2 Colorado build. And, you know, while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe. We got a lot of stuff also in the shop that we work on. 5th gen Camaros, 1st gen Camaros, do a lot with OBS trucks too, Silverados and things like that. So if you're into anything GM, go ahead and tap that like button and subscribe. Definitely appreciate you guys' support on the channel. Check it, pulls right them up. Look at that. There's your instructions for every product that they make. Pretty simple. I'm going to read through these real quick. Alright, so I've got the step kind of mocked up. So what I ended up doing here is I measured my slider, and it's about 85 and some change inches. This thing is about 65 and 7/8 inches, somewhere in there. So I basically put 2 tape marks, and I have lined them up using my lift. Actually works pretty good for this. Just brought it up to a point. I'm going to clamp it into position, mark it, drill it. I think I can do it on the truck. It's obviously not recommended to do it on the truck, but you know, when you have a lift or a floor jack, I'd say go for it. So maybe a buddy helping you, that's probably a good idea. But here we go. This is what it's going to look like, and this thing looks killer. I mean, it kind of looks like it should have been there from the factory, and it's nothing crazy. And they do unbolt, you know, they give you a bag of bolts. It's just riv nuts back in here. You can see how that works. And basically all I'm going to do is mark the outside, send her home, drill it, and then move those to match, and I'm done. Alright, just wanted to go over this real quick and show you guys how I'm doing this with the thing on the truck. With the slider on the truck, you can do it this way. I do have some clamps holding this into place. You can see how I've got it lined up pretty good. I think that's gonna work out pretty good for me. I should be able to drill it right here. I've got it up high enough to where I think it's all right, but yeah, pretty level. I think it's gonna work. All right, boys, I finally got through that boron steel or whatever that's made out of. It is some nasty stuff to drill through. I didn't film all the drilling because most of it was just straight up a struggle. It was absolutely terrible to drill through this, but that is definitely how you want to put these on. The only thing is, guys, if you remove the steps, one thing I'm worried about is you can't visually see where it's actually level at. So it does help you with leaving the thing on the truck, but it hurts you at the same time because it is an absolute fight to drill through these. But look how good these turned out. Now, one thing you are going to want to do is bolt this thing together completely, measure the lengths between the two, divide it, and find you a center line, and then use tape like I did to line it up. I mean, this turned out absolutely amazing, and it gives you a great way to get in your truck, especially if you've got kids or, you know, someone's a little older. Look at this. Now, I mean, I can get in here very easily, and getting out is pretty nice too. I've got to get used to them, but hey, you know, it's nice to have a step right there to get out. I mean, makes a big difference, especially in the back. I feel like this is where it's going to make the difference. Is you've actually got a pull handle in these trucks right here. So, I mean, you can get all the way up here now and get to stuff so much easier to wash the top of the truck, or if you've got stuff on a roof rack, like if you've got a rooftop tent and there's something that you're working on, you need to get to it. You know, these steps, the stock sliders are just, they're not really a step. I mean, you can try, but you know, in these Hey Dudes, I'm probably going to slide off of them and using this handle. Look at that. Awesome. All right, guys, so I'm starting on side 2, and I wanted to show you a little trick how to do this without taking the sliders off. Basically, any floor jack or a lift, and actually in this case I found a floor jack to work better because the post of the lift blocks one of the holes that you need to drill for, so then you have to leave that one out and come back and transfer punch it later, which is not a big deal. But if you have a floor jack, and I'm sure everyone watching this probably does, you can easily do this. And using those tape lines, lining them up, and then you need a sanity check. Underneath here you can see these holes. You need to make sure that you've got that up enough to where it makes sense. Because if you drill it too close, you know, and you're trying to put a bolt in, maybe the nut won't go on. And this little piece back here in this track, you know, it's going to sit where it's going to sit, basically. It falls down in here like this. So you have to have a transfer punch or something very close. If you had never seen a transfer punch, you're going to want one of these guys right here. This is about 10 thousandths underneath the size of that hole. So it allows this thing to basically get as centered up as possible. You're not going to do this, if you think you can do this with a marker in your eyeball, you're not going to be able to do it. If you do, you're going to elongate every one of these holes because there's no way you can do this without a transfer punch. So I'm going to forewarn you guys, if you do this and you buy these steps, don't even think about it unless you've got these. So, that being said, take your time doing this stuff. This steel is extremely difficult to drill through. And the only way I've found to pull it off is to start out with an 1/8 inch drill bit and just work your way up. Maybe, you know, an 1/8 inch at a time. You may be drilling that hole 4 times before you actually get to a point where the 3/8 can easily just go through it. But just know when you're drilling these holes, that is by far the worst part. One more thing before I forget. Once you get this into place, go get yourself some of these little clamps right here. And I'm not talking, you know, anything crazy, but you do want something that's got some spring pressure. That pulls this thing up to where it's fairly tight and you can actually see kind of where it's going to go. It also helps hold this thing while you're absolutely beating the tar out of it, putting those holes in with your transfer punch. So yeah, things you're going to want to have for this install: transfer punch, maybe multiple 3/8 drill bits, probably a good set of drill bits, a good drill, and definitely some type of clamp. This install is not for the faint of heart. If you're not comfortable with drilling holes and lining things up, don't buy these. Alright, got the truck in the air. I want to show you what a transfer punch does for you. See that hole right there? That is basically exactly where the step is going to be. I've got another one right here. See it? And then there's another one down here. There. And we've got one right here. So now we're going to go through here with an 1/8 inch drill bit and just get them started. Then increment up a little bit at a time. You may end up drilling the same hole 4 times due to this steel being so rowdy and so hard to deal with. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Then should be able to toss the step up there and see how close we got it. Check that out. Looks really good. Now, one thing that we did run into, the bits started to get extremely dull on this thing. I mean, like burning them up bad. So what you end up having to do, you're actually going to have to go, if you start out small, you can go like 2 drill bits at a time. And then once you get closer to that size, you're going to have to go 1 drill bit at a time, up 1 size at a time. So again, one thing you're going to want to do is buy yourself a nice set of drill bits. These have been around for a long time, and we haven't burned any of them up until we got to this stuff. I'm telling you, I can't stress this enough. This is such hard steel to drill through. Taking these off, would it be any easier? I don't know. Probably harder because you couldn't actually tell if you had it level. And obviously having a lift makes things so much easier to work with. So, you know, if you guys buy these and you don't have access to a die grinder, some good drill bits, a floor jack, things like that, I would recommend letting a shop do this. I really would. I mean, you're into it for a couple hours on each side, and that's if you're moving pretty quick. And the transfer punches, that's another thing. So there's a lot of stuff that it takes to put these on correctly. I mean, yeah, you go out there with a 1/4-inch drill and kind of mock it up and get it close and then cheat the holes, and you might get lucky, but just know that this is a little bit more of an involved install. I'm gonna have to say most of the stuff we do here is pretty involved anyway, but if you're not comfortable with that, just know going in when you buy these steps, they're really hard and it's super hard to drill through this stuff. So just take your time with it, but they did turn out awesome. I just wanted to show you guys underneath kind of what they look like when these are all bolted up. They make a good product, they really do. But guys, it is so difficult to get through that. Just boring through this stuff is just absolutely terrible. So that's gonna do it for this. Let's get this thing down on the ground and I'll show you guys how well they work getting in and out. All right, so here we go. Down on the ground, looks awesome. I mean, it really does complement your stock slider really, really well. I like how that looks. Let's give it a test drive here. Obviously, I got this for my wife because she is pregnant again. I've got a little boy on the way. So those of you that didn't know, I've already got a daughter. It's probably why you don't see me on here as much anymore. Sorry guys, it's just the dad life, man. I thought I could keep up, but it's really tough. Some of you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, yeah, check it out. Getting in this thing now. That's a breeze. Not really a breeze with the lift right there, but hey, you can see it's definitely gonna help. This is where it really shines. So check it out. Getting in the rear of the truck, again, you got your pull handle. Oh man, made that way easier getting in and out of this thing. That's kind of the only bad thing about the Colorados, guys. They don't really have a whole lot of room in the back. And we had an instance where we had some grandparents trying to get in the back of this thing and they like cramped up, couldn't even get in it. I had to actually like boost them up in here. So that's what kind of made me look to these steps, and I did the pre-order deal from them. And man, oh man, is it worth it. Holy crap, those are great. So there you go, boys. There's an install on the 589 steps. And if you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe and like this video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Go back and watch all my old videos on this truck. There is some amazing things we've done with it along the way. It's come a long way, it really has. So again, guys, thank you all for watching to the end of this video. I will catch you in the next one. Peace out. And